class with a slightly different focus for you today. So anyone who knows me just a little bit knows that I run. I have run for forever, since I was about 12, and it keeps me sane. It's my happy place. It's what I love to do. When I was about 19, 18, 19, I fell. I had an injury, and it meant that whenever I ran, I was in pain. It was awful. And I discovered Pilates, and then it wasn't so awful. And then I kept doing Pilates, and I kept running. And every time I stopped doing Pilates and I tried to just run, it didn't work. It was rubbish. And I would have to stop and have a rest for a few weeks, and then I'd try and start again, and it just kept going like that. So I went back to Pilates. And now I teach. That's the long story short of it, is that running is my happy place and Pilates lets me live in my happy place. So I have a class for you today. It's suitable for everybody, but it's specifically designed at runners, at people with lower back, kind of tight legs, tight lumbar spine, that are just not moving, and that find that when they run more than a little bit, then it really starts to aggravate them and they get really stiff and sore. So this is for you. We're going to start bringing our feet together, toes apart, heels apart, and we're going to tilt forward and back through the pelvis. So go from one extreme to the other, and then we're going to find that point in the middle. So just let your hip bones sit where it's comfortable for you. So ideally your hip bones want to be level, so that the front of your hip bone there is pointing straight ahead rather than pointing up at the ceiling or down at the roof. But where you're comfortable is perfect. We're going to relax the shoulders, and we're just going to roll down. So we breathe in, and as we breathe out, we tuck our chin in towards our chest, we pull our belly button in, and we roll down through the spine, just coming down bone by bone by bone. We're going to breathe in and hold at that end point for you, so even if your end point's up here, and breathe out, tuck the tailbone under, and cuddle all the way back up. So I'll do it from the side. So we go toes and heels. Breathe in. As we breathe out, tuck the chin, rolling down through the spine. So you want to try and make sure that each little bit bone in your back is moving on its own. Feel that stretch all the way up the back of your legs. And tuck the tailbone under, bend the knees, and stack back up. We're going to do that again. So I always imagine this as a slinky. One of those slinky jogs that you come down all the way. Each ring's just moving on its own. And then when we come back up, you're just stacking that slinky back up all the way. So it's upright. We're going to do one more. You want to try and make sure that you're not sticking your bum out here. You're coming forward and rolling down through the back rather than being here and shoving your bum back. So you can do it against a wall. And that's quite a nice way to check that it's your back that's moving and not coming completely from your hips. We're going to bring it into our extensions. I'll stay on the side so it's easier. Hands on your hips. Just want you to lean back and come up. Lean back and come up. So just letting the shoulders come back over the hips. Tuck the tailbone under, pull the tummy in to come back up. Good, one more. And we're going to bring it into our chest stretch. So our hands are down. We're going to breathe out, bring the hands wide. Breathe in, bring it in. And again, those of you that have seen my videos, my room's not very big. So I have to do it, if I do it on my knees, you can see. So just stay standing if you want. We breathe out. Open wide through the chest. Breathe in, bring it down. One more. And down. I'm going to come back to standing so that you can see. We're going to bring our hands onto our ribs. So not down at your waist. I want you to come right up. So kind of where your bra strap normally sits. And for men, where a bra strap normally sits. Or a heart rate monitor, if you've got one of those connected to your watch. We're going to bring the ribs forward and back, forward and back. So the rest of your body will move a little bit with it, especially the shoulders. But it's easier just to use your hands to help bring that rib cage in and out. And then we're going to bring the ribs side to side. Push, push. Slide the ribs over the top of the hips. Slide them back. Slide, slide. And then we're going to circle forward, to the side, round, and to the back. Oh dear, that's my hiccups. All the way round. And change direction. Pushing back, coming round. One more. And then we're just going to bend and bend. Now this might be a complete stereotype, but most of the runners I meet tend not to be very bendy. It's one of those things, we get very good at running in straight lines, whether that's uphill, downhill, on the flat. We're very good at running, but runners tend not to be very good at anything else unless we actively work at it. We're going to bring this down to the side now. We're going to tuck the chin, roll forward, and then we're going to bring that up the other leg. So we come down the outside of the leg, roll down so you straighten up, round to the other side, and up, slide, round. So you should feel this all around your waist, okay, and into your back. We're going to do one more each side. And up. And then we're going to come back to those roll downs. So I'm going to come to the side so it's easier. Bring our feet together, toes and heels. We're going to add in a twist. So we breathe in. As we breathe out, tuck the chin into your chest, rolling down through the spine. So coming forward, bone by bone by bone. We're going to bring our left hand onto the outside of our right leg. Okay. We're going to straighten that right leg and bend the left one. Okay. And what I want you to do is push the right hip up to the roof and reach the hands up to the ceiling. Breathing in. Breathe out, straighten the left side, bend the right and reach that left hand up. Breathe in. Breathe out, come up to the left, to the right. Push the hip up, breathe in. Breathe out to the left. One more each side. And then we're going to bring our hands down, walking forward onto the floor. What we're going to do, keep our knees underneath our hips and our hands are going to come forward. Our hands want to be slightly wider than our shoulders, and we're going to draw our shoulder blades apart, so as though you're just stretching your back to make yourself a little bit wider. We're going to breathe in, tuck the tailbone under, and lift up through your tummy. Breathe out, lift your head, roll your shoulders, stick your bum in the air. Breathing in. And breathing out. So just working through the whole of the back, getting loads of movement here. One more each side. And then we're going to work on our control a little bit more. So I want you to flatten out through your lower back. I'm going to draw in your tummy. Keep your hands wide. We're going to reach the right leg back, bring it up, bring it down, slide it back. So slide the left leg, squeeze it up in line with your hip, bring it down, slide it back. So we slide, squeeze, down and in. You want to be looking forward so that our head and neck's nice and long. And you want to think about controlling through your lower back. So normally I use cake analogies, wine analogies, which I find works quite well, but I know something that usually works with runners much better. I want you to imagine you're beside a really, really muddy puddle. Okay, so there's a muddy puddle on one side and a muddy puddle on the other. And you've got your brand new trainers balancing on your back. Those new trainers that you're just about to go out with and take a really pretty picture of. If you can, we're going to take out that slide and we're going to reach that leg back and we're going to pull it in. So you have to work a little bit harder now. Remember, those shiny trainers are on our back and we are not dropping them in the mud. I think I'm just working about at least 10% harder now, trying not to drop those imaginary trainers. If you want, you can stay here, okay? If you can though, we're going to reach the right leg and reach the left arm together and bring it in. Reach the left arm and the right leg, bring it in together. As everyone knows, we run with our legs, but we run with the rest of our body as well. So we need them to work together. We need that arm and leg, especially across the ways, opposite sides of our body, to work together, and that static sides need to remain in control. I'm going to do one more each side. So nice straight line, pull it in. And in. We're going to reach the hands forward. We're going to come down onto the mat and arch our back. Relax the shoulders, look up at the ceiling, and then bend the knees. Push the bum back and relax your head onto the mat. Going forward, reaching up. So push the hip bones into the floor, relax the shoulder blades, look up at the roof. Push the hips back. One more. So just working through both movements of the back, getting the whole body involved. These are really nice stretches to be doing. You want to try and sink your bum onto your heels, sink your head down, and then relax your elbows. And coming up. We're going to come and lie down on our side. So, I forgot my block. What you can do, if you need to, you can have a block or a pillow or a towel, whatever works for you, if you need, for underneath your head. So you can be here, if your shoulder's not great, you can, if you can just have that block between your head and your arm with your arm straight out. And if you don't need it, just relax your relax your head on your arm. We're going to bring your knees forward. So the knees are at 45 degrees from your hip and your feet are in line with your bum. Okay, so you can just have a wee check. We're going to relax the top shoulder, draw the top hip down. So you should have a little gap in at your waist, okay? Or at least that feeling of creating that space, okay? So you should be able to fit a Malteser just in there. We're going to keep our feet together. We're going to squeeze that top leg up and down. Squeeze it up and down. Now, glute exercises are my all-time favourite because I think they're so necessary for everything, but they're really necessary for running, okay? What tends to happen quite often, we get weak glutes, we get tight legs, and then we get pain and we have to have a rest, and that's no fun for anyone. So if we can make sure our glutes are strong and in control, then it's going to make for much happier runners. So we want to squeeze our bum, keep our hip bone pointing to the front, and make sure that this movement is all coming from the bum and we're not moving through the back, okay? We don't need the back to move just now, we just need the bum to do its work. So in that hand on the top hip, and just check you're not rocking back. You can float your feet up, squeeze, and down. So we're still keeping that gap in at your waist. If you find you're really wobbly with your feet up in the air, you can either have your hand down in front of your pelvis, or just bring your feet down and carry on working from on the floor. Everything's a choice. 2 more. And pat it out if you need to. We're going to straighten this leg out. Make sure you've still got that gap in at your waist, your chest open, your shoulders rolled back, your hips drawn down. And we're going to lift that top leg up, flex it, and do little pulses. I want you to think about pushing your foot away towards the opposite wall, keeping everything else nice and still. So if you need to, hand can still come in front of your pelvis. If you're still wobbly, you can bend that bottom leg and keep going. We're going to bring it up and down. So thinking about squeezing through the bum. 2 more. Nice quick sets here. Hold that leg up in line with your hip. Bring it forward. Squeeze it back. Bring it forward. Squeeze it back. So you need to really work on your balance here. So use that hand if you need to. Bend the bottom leg if you need to. This one's not an easy one. 1 more. And circle. So this is the real kicker. This is the one that's going to give you loads of extra control once you've got over the pain. So keep that shoulder relaxed, change direction. Gap stays in at your waist. 3, 2, 1, and down. Pat it out. I'm going to come back onto our hands and knees. We'll do the other side in a moment. Hands wider than the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. A couple little bends here through your tailbone, and then find that spot in the middle. So you've got that nice level back, tummy muscles drawn in, chest wide. We're going to reach that top hand up, bring it down. Reach the other hand up and bring it down. So you're just opening up through the chest, twisting into the waist. Now you can stay here with just the arms, or if you want, reach the same side back, so that right leg comes back, then the hand comes up. Twist, and we get our balance work. So reach the left leg, reach that left hand, bring it down and in. This is what I've been working on for ages, and I'm still rubbish when I'm chatting. And down. So this is a nice way to get that stretch and work on the control. But what we can do, we're going to make this a little bit bigger. We're going to keep the legs down now. We're going to reach, I'm going to come at a slight angle so you can see. We're going to reach that right hand up, and then we're going to reach it through underneath the other leg, underneath the other arm, sorry. Reaching it up and through. Reaching up and through. 1 more. And down. We're going to do the same on the left side. So reach, pull it through. Reach, pull it through. So you're looking underneath that arm and just seeing how far you can get. Last one. And up. Gonna roll the shoulders. Now the next ones, they put quite a lot of weight up on your shoulders. It's a really nice stretch, but with a lot of strength work combined. We're going to come up into down dog, okay? If this is not a position that you're comfortable with, so we're going to have our hands straight out and our legs up as well. If that's too much for you, what you can do is work on the control. So you won't get the same stretch into your legs, but you can work on the full body control with your elbows down and your legs down. And when we're lifting up our legs, you can do it here. Now this is not an easy move, okay, especially for keeping that lower back nice and still, but it's slightly less impact, okay? If you can, we're going to reach our hands forward. So you want them way out in front of your shoulders. Our knees are going to be underneath our hips. roll the shoulders back. We're going to float up, push back into down dog, and we're just going to pulse our heels here, so we're getting more of a stretch. So our hips are up in the air, and we're just bending one leg, pushing the other side down into the floor. 3, 2, 1. Push both heels back. I'm going to lift the right leg up and bring it down. I'm going to lift the left leg up, push the right heel down, bring them down together. Now you can stay here just with one leg up in the air, bringing it down, or you've got an option, because there's always an option. You're going to lift it up. We're going to pull the knee through. I'm going to lift it up, bring it down. We'll lift the left side up, pull it through so you come into plank almost. Reach it back and down. We're going to do one more on each side. Pull through. Reach up and down. Reach up, pull through, reach up and down. Onto your knees, stretch it out into chest stretch. So the knees come down, head comes down, bum sits on your heels, and breathe. And then we get to a nice lie down, because we've got another hip to do. You're going to come back down onto the mat. Remember, use your towel, use your block, however you need to. You might find that you've got more space there and it's uncomfortable straining the neck, so you need something else on the other side. So don't worry about it. We're going to reach that bottom arm through. We're going to bend the knees forward so the knees are in line with the hips. We're going to keep our feet in line with our bum. Relax the head, relax the shoulder. Draw that top hip down, so you've got that gap in at your waist. Tummy muscles tight, and we're going to squeeze up and down. So we breathe out to come up, we breathe in to come down. Now when we're here, it's different when we're running, it's different when we're doing kind of up and down things, or when gravity comes into play as well. But generally speaking, when we breathe in, our pelvic floor relaxes, okay? We breathe in, our diaphragm comes down, our pelvic floor relaxes. When we breathe out, our diaphragm comes up to push that air out, and the pelvic floor engages with it, okay? So we can use our breath to help us with our pelvic floor. So for these ones, we breathe out on the effort. So we breathe out to squeeze up so that we get that pelvic floor control. We breathe in. As we relax, let the pelvic floor come down. You can float your feet up, squeeze, and down. So relax the shoulder, squeeze through the bottom, bring the knees apart. So it's all about that control. You're keeping your feet nice and still. You're keeping the rest of your body nice and still. Good. Let's do one more. And down. Pat it out if you need to. Straighten those legs. Relax the shoulder. Draw the hip down so you've got that gap in at your waist. Flex the foot so it's up in line with your, bring the leg up so it's in line with your hip. Flex the foot so your ankles pushing the heel away and your toes are pulling up towards the front of your shin. We're just going to pulse. So we're keeping everything else nice and still, pushing the heel away and just starting to activate through the bottom. Good. Drawing in through the tummy, keeping everything else still. Use your options. So you can have your hand down in front, remember? You can have your bottom leg bent. You can make the movement smaller or bigger, depending on how you can manage. We're going to bring it down and up. So we're pulling the heels down together. You keeping that hip bone point into the front, and stay in so that you feel like you're a bit wobbly. Okay, if you think, oh, this is easy, the chances are you've fallen back off that bottom hip and you're putting the weight through your bum. Okay, so we don't want the bum to be leaning on the floor. It should be off. We're going to hold that leg up, bring it forward, squeeze it back. Remember, this is where it gets tricky, so use your options if you need to. Draw in your tummy, slide your ribs towards your pelvis. So if you can get that connection between the bottom of your rib cage and the top of your pelvis, you can engage all of your abs. Well, not all of them, but most of them. And it's going to give you a lot more stability. Cool. One more. Hold that leg up and circle. So by now, your bum might be complaining just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. But that's okay, because we're almost done. Change direction. Relax the shoulder. Squeeze the bum. 3, 2, 1. And pat that leg out. We're going to come and lie down on our back. We're going to bring our feet together. Toes apart, heels apart. And we're just going to tilt the pelvis forward and back. So you're creating a really big space in your lower back and then flattening it down. This is a really nice one to do. If you tend to wake up and you've just got that kind of lower back stiffness and pain, even before you get out of bed, just do these and you can just get a little bit more movement. It's a nice, gentle exercise. We are now going to use it to find that point between the two extremes, okay? So again, everyone's body is different, but generally speaking, you should be able to just get your hands into that gap and at your lower back, but your fingertips don't really want to meet in the middle, okay? So that gives you a nice guide. We're going to draw our tummy muscles in. We're going to float the right leg up, bring it down. Float the left leg up, bring it down. So we pull the heel up, knee over the hip, bring it down. Squeeze up, bring it down. So one extreme to the other. Now you can stay here. If this is quite a lot of work for you to get that control, stay with this one. If you can, then we float one leg up, we bring the other one up to meet it, we bring the first one down, we bring the second one down, and we change sides. We come up, up, down, down. Always checking what's going on here. So just because you've done the first couple, okay, doesn't mean that that control is going to stay as we do more. Okay, so keep checking in with your body, keep checking that you're on the right level for you. I'm going to give you loads of options here so that you can build this up, but it's up to you to find what's right for you. If you want, we can keep the legs up, we bring one down, bring it up, change to the other side. So you can either do this so that one leg moves at a time, so that's a bit easier, or more like running, one leg comes down, the other one comes up. Okay, so your legs are working together and you've got that control, so nothing's happening here. And my tummy muscles nice and still, they're working hard but they're not moving, and there's not any shift of my weight side to side as my legs come up and down. Okay, you can cuddle up. You're going to stay here. 3, 2, 1, and down. We always come down one leg at a time and uncuddle. Our hands are going to come onto our tummy. We're going to bring the knee out. We're going to squeeze it in. We're going to bring the other knee out. We're going to squeeze it in. This is my back to basics stabilizing exercise. So when I'm injured, after I have my little girdle, anything like that, this is what I always come back to. This one and the next one we're going to do as well. It gives you that control and you can really check in with your body and see how much movement. So as my right leg comes out, my left leg should stay still and it pulls back in. My right leg stays still, my left knee comes out, pulls it back in. So this is one that you can do at any point, nice and controlled. The bigger the movement, the more control you're going to need, okay? But you can make this tiny. There can just be absolutely minimal movement at your knee and just working on that control. We're going to do one more. And then we're going to bring it into our straight leg, one leg stretch, sorry. So we're going to reach one leg away, we're going to pull it back in. We're going to reach the other leg away, pull it back in. So to make it easier, you can slide your foot along the floor. To make it more challenging, we hover. So we just float that foot up, pull it back, place it down. Float the other foot, pull and relax. So reach and in, reach and in. So that's your control. If you want to make it slightly more challenging, instead of stretching it straight out, we're going to bring that right leg into tabletop and reach it away. We then pull it down as far as we can control, bring it back to tabletop and down. So we float, reach, pull down, in and down. The further you stretch that leg down towards the floor, the more awareness you're going to need at your lower back, okay? If you're starting to arch, so if you get to about here and your lower back's arching, you've lost that control, bring it up and just work in that reduced range. So you can just work it here and build it up, and that'll be much more effective than pushing past it and training your body to move in a way that you don't ideally want it to move. So you're better to keep encouraging it where it is, keep moving and reinforcing those good patterns. If you can, we're going to bring one leg up, we're going to bring the other leg up. This time, the leg that's still just stays in the air and the other one moves. Okay, so reach and in. So you'll probably find that when both legs are in the air, you might not get as far initially, stretching the leg towards the floor. One more. If you want to make it harder, we bring it up. So our head's supported by our hands and we reach. And if you want to make it harder still, pull one leg in and change. So those hands are just guiding the legs in, okay? They're not pulling on it, we're not forcing it, we're just adding in a bit of a stretch down the back of the leg. 3, 2, 1. Pull the knees in, give yourself a hug, relax your head. Bring the legs down one and the other. We're going to bring our feet together and then bring our toes out and our heels out. And make sure we're back to that neutral, so back to that little gap, tailbones on the floor. We're going to breathe in. As we breathe out, squeeze the bottom, tuck the tailbone under, and we're going to peel our back up away from the floor. We're going to breathe in and hold, and then we're going to breathe out, come down through each bone the same as we did when we were in standing. So using that slinky again, and back. So breathe in out. Breathe in and hold. Breathe out, come down. So you can stay here. Just keep moving and adding in those, just working through the lower back. If you want to add anything else in, you can bring one heel down, bring one heel up, sorry, and then the other one, and uncurl. So we lift, and down. And if you still want to make it harder, keep the hips level, so make sure you've got that control. Right leg comes up and down. Left leg comes up and down. And uncurl. You can do more than one repetition of these, so you can stay up, but make sure that your hips are nice and controlled and you're not wobbling all over the place. We're going to do one more. Down and uncurl. We're going to come over and come and sit up. We're going to bring our feet out. So your legs are out in front of you. You're going to pull the legs up towards you. We're going to reach the hands up wide, breathe in. And as we breathe out, roll down through the spine. Breathing in and hold. Breathing out to come up and wide. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. One more. So this is a nice way, rolling down through the spine. Pull the toes up and really feel that stretch into the legs. And wide. We're going to bring our legs straight out. Okay? Bring our hands behind us and open up through our chest. We're going to lift up in this position. So we breathe in to prepare. Breathe out, squeeze up. Breathe in and hold. Breathe out and come down. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. From here you can add in a lift if you want. So we lift one leg up, bring it down, lift the other one, bring the body down. Squeeze up, lift, lift, and down. Let's do one more. And down, roll the shoulders. We're going to add in a twist here. So our legs come out. We're going to pull our toes up towards us. We're going to still bring it into that roll down. So we reach up, we curl down. Same as we did in standing though. Our left hand comes over to the right side. And this time we're going to open up and back into the right arm. Bring it down, open up and back into that left arm. And up. Breathing in. And out. Breathing in. And out. Breathing in. And out. Breathe in and hold. And out. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in and hold here. Pull those toes back up towards you. And breathe out. Come up nice and wide. We are going to bring it into saw just here. Now, I'm going to sit back. If you find that you've got really tight hips, okay, a nice thing to do, use your block. So you can use a couple of pillows. You might be better with a book, like a big dictionary or something, if you don't have a block, because you want something that's quite solid so that you're not sinking down into it. You're going to bring your feet out wide and you're going to pull your toes up towards you, okay? Lift up through the chest, bring the hands wide, we're going to twist, come down, 3, 2, 1, and up. 3, 2, 1, and up. So we want 3 little pulses. We're aiming to pulse our little finger past the little toe on the opposite foot. Our chest stays up, we're looking past that foot. One more. And roll those shoulders. Now bend our knees. Pop your block out the way. Tuck the toes. Roll back onto the heels. And uncuddle all the way up, nice and tall. Now, we couldn't do Pilates for runners without any lunges. So we're going to stay slightly more central on our mat, okay? Bring our hands on your hips. We're going to step the right leg forward. We're going to lunge down. We're going to step the right leg back, lunge down. So forward, lunge, back, lunge. So you can use your hands on your hips to make it more of a balance exercise. But if you want to make it more functional to your running, bring one, what happened there? One hand forward and then change to there. So use your hands to help, the way that you would when you were running. So lunge and lunge. 3, 2, 1. And we do the same on the other side. We're going to step. What am I doing? We're going to step our left leg forward. They both felt sore. That was confusing. Down and up. Step and up. Oh, my balance today. And most days at the minute. Reach and down. So we want to have that strength to push off through the right side. We're here and here. Step, lunge. Step, lunge. 3, 2, 1. And up. Shake off the legs. We're going to bring it into our squats. So our knees just slightly wider than our hips. We're going to squat down and up. Squat down and up. So in order to start activating through our bum, we want to keep our back straight and our bum pushes back. So we lift through the chest. Ribs connect to the pelvis. Shoulders tuck down. Squeeze. We're going to add in a heel raise. So we come down and up. Down and up. So we need our calves to be nice and strong. And we need that stability when we're working. So we come down, drive up. I want you to just pause, down, pause, down. 2, 1, and up. I hope everyone else is a bit warm. I'm a little bit warm. We're going to bring the weight, onto our right side. We're going to bring the toes just slightly up on the left. And we're going to push back and up. So squatting back most of the weight on that right side. We're then going to tap and in. Tap and in. So the toes are down on the left side, but that's it. We're going to tap forward and back if you're not in a tiny room. So like a mini version of our lunges. 3, 2, 1, and up. Weight onto that left side. Squat down and up. So toes only on that right side. As little weight as you can manage. One more. Out and in. Out and in. Forward. Oh, I went too far back again. Back. Forward. Back. You'd think after 2 months of teaching in here I'd have figured it out by now. 3, 2, 1, and up. Shake off the legs. We're going to bring our feet together. Toes apart, heels apart, breathing in. You're going to breathe out, tuck the chin, roll down through the spine. Breathing in and hold. Breathing out, come all the way up. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and out. And coming up. You're going to tilt, come forward. So just go from one extreme to the other with that lower back. So here and here. So it's right down at your pelvis, one extreme to the other. And then we're going to find that point in the middle. So your lower back's nice and flat, it's nice and long. You're pulling the pubic bone up to you slightly. Tummy muscles come in, hip bones to the front. Chest open, shoulders back, breathing in. And out. 2 more. Last one. And we made it!